Good morning. I am the self-styled expert, and I swear I will never again get dysregulated, emotionally dysregulated by people who manipulate me in psychopathic ways by gaslighting me and then point out that by holding them accountable and confronting them with their own behavioral patterns, I regulate myself. I say this again. I will never again get emotionally dysregulated by people who gaslight me and then claim that by holding them accountable and confronting them with their own behavioral patterns, I regulate myself again. Um, obviously, we talk about psychopath. The narcissist is not able to gaslight. Narcissists can't do this. They believe what they say. They're in the delusion train to nowhere. But a psychopath can do it, I always say. And I know it because I'm a self-styled expert. They are inverted. They do reversed engineering as therapists trying to disassemble your sense of self because that's what they need. Because you have access to emotions, real emotions, positive emotions, sweet emotions. You have lifeblood, and they need that. Okay? So they need your emotions and they like it when you get triggered. And this is why you constantly fixated. They are fixating you with their eyes, constantly looking for a way to dysregulate you, to emotionally trigger you, because mind control does not work in the way that you think, that in some magical way you suddenly start to pursue the goals of the psychopath. No. They simply break you down to a low level, to their competitive reptilian brain level. And let me tell you how this works. You see, the psychopath in early childhood learned to tune narration slowly but surely until they mastered it. They mix facts and fiction on the run, parts of your memories, and change them slowly and slightly. They, for instance, as I said, first dysregulate you and then point out that you're dysregulated. And when you set healthy boundaries and confront them with what they do, I got interrupted. However, they do it this way. Yeah. So Yeah, they make you abandon your own position, your own selfhood, because the psychopath has no access to real emotions. They fake everything, and then they need validation for it, and they have slaves around them and enablers. It's all calculated. But this is common sense knowledge, nothing new under the sun. They need these slaves around them and the enablers. And when you insist on your selfhood, your self agency, you become public enemy number one for the cult of one. Yeah. So the gaslighting strategies, the fixation with the eyes, um, the ability to manipulate people that they train from an early age by learning how to shape narrations and switch strategies in very many multi-layered ways. Um, their parents often idealize them, so it can be the golden child. But what happens is they are always pursuing a goal. They want something from you, okay? And when they don't get it, they simply try to dysregulate you so that you lose your point, that you get confused. And when you're exposed to this form of toxicity, which is definitely different to the acting out of the covert narcissist, for acting out does not mean that the covert narcissist exposes rage. They most of the time have internal rage, internal hate, and they don't show it. They cover it in backhanded compliments and avoidant behavior. Like they walk on eggshells, they are suffering because you are living and you are thriving. And this is acting out. Acting out means they act based on a victimhood fantasy and based on the introject they have of you. It means they don't interact with you as a human being. So it's different. It's very toxic as well, but these are two different forms of snake venom. Okay? Yeah. So the psychopath has another form of snake venom, and that is to constantly make you abandon yourself if you not pursue the goal of the psychopath overtly. So, I mean, if you supply the psychopath with sympathy and you simply co-opt with them, then you're an instrument of the psychopath. But if you're an obstacle, they will constantly try to make you abandon your own position, self agency, and self confidence. They will confuse you simply. It can be everything is possible as long as it creates this form of cognitive dissonance. And all of these things can lead to it's like eroding your sense of self. And what it does is it can lead to dissociation, which is a form of confusion. And I did not ask ChatGPT about it, but I suggest you to ask ChatGPT what dissociation exactly is and what you can do to fix it. I have to interrupt the program for a small little break. Be right back. So, in these times of dissociation. There's different levels to it. And I'm not talking about that, what ChatGPT tells you. I'm telling you about the self-style experts experience. It means you're over a certain period of time. This is the, and again, don't quote me here. I'm just a self-styled expert. I'm just talking some entertainment here, right? I'm not a pro. Not the goat, you know. So it means that you're confused simply and you have problems to focus. If you're working, things that normally are very easy to do can become like you have to focus and concentrate constantly, and it's a pain, and half an hour feels like a very long time, and you just don't get into a flow because there is something you don't know what's happening. Something is wrong with your mind, and you make mistakes like forgetting something or some things like that. And one thing that happened to me one day was I bought salad, and then when I wanted to eat salad, I didn't find it, and then it was in the deep freezer. And these kind of mistakes is not something that I would commonly do, like putting a salad in the freezer. It's like something is happening in the subconsciousness, in the mind, which completely distracts you from your present moment. And it can get to the point where you have a feeling of self-alienation, where you observe yourself and you wonder who this is, like a strange feeling of who is this, what, or who am I, or is this real, something like that, right? And what helped me when I asked ChatGPT years ago, when I felt the effect of this, was breathing, because the pattern that we breathe, I think, if I remember correctly, is changed when you're dissociated. And you can simply by breathing, you know what I'm saying? And I say, just remember who you are, just meet some good friends. Because the friends know you, and the friends can remember you. You know what I'm saying, man? It's just so good. Yeah. So, this is the two forms of venom that can get you dissociated. It's the reverse engineering attempt of the psychopath that wants to hijack you, co-opt you, throw you over, make you from an obstacle to an instrument, because the psychopath only accepts slaves. Or it's the delusional acting of the covert narcissist that stubbornly plays the clown playbook, and this manipulates your environment in a way that you start living in la la land with an insane person, right? And it's not good if you do this for long times. So two different kinds of snake venom, and it's that what is not good for you. That's what's not good for you, right? So this is why you should not get washed up and just keep on confronting these people every time they come, and stay locked in. Stay locked in, and this is a massive gaslighting. Yeah, it's a massive gaslighting, right? All right. So, and the reason is again, they don't have the access to emotions, especially not positive emotions. That is what they need from people, right? Reactions, emotions, and yeah. So if the monitoring spirits, the covert narcissist, and the psychopath watch this video, you're welcome. I give you some sadistic supply, and your self-mortification worked out very well. Congratulations. If you're masochistic, you can even enjoy the self-harm that you do to yourself by by this mortifying circle that I also described in a video titled The Self-Mortification Ritual. which is rather a sadomasochistic tendency, uh, that shows that some narcissists are really also about negative emotions, and they want you to abuse them because this gives them the masochistic supply and the sadistic supply at the same time, because to get you to abuse them, they first have to hurt you. So, and of course, then the psychopath jumps in, the triangulative peacemaker, the psychopath, the savior, the moralist, the moral high ground, angel, peacemaker, the reverse therapist jumps in, comes from this directly from heaven, and yeah, and will point out how dysregulated you are to confront the covert narcissist that simply wants to enjoy the juicy shared fantasy between the psychopath and the covert narcissist that is full of sadomasochistic reverse parenting, broken childhood, reverse fantasies, I think. So there's a lot of joy, a lot of joy, a lot of ecstasy, and yeah, it's just a very, it's a good, it's a beautiful concept, I think, for a cult, for you know, living a meaningful life. I think it's the way to go, really. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so you're welcome. You're welcome. Everybody's welcome on my channel. Feel free to pretend that you're not looking these videos. It's okay. I'm good. So yeah, that being said, I think this is one of my worst videos I ever made.